their games to figure out what decks I like best. Lucas ended up losing with some sort of Loon Mega Knight, Spirit Empress, which is one of the Spirit Empress decks that has been used. I don't want to see that from him. I just want to see quick cycle from both of these players. Let's see as many troops get played on the field and who can just win those tiny little interactions. This is it. This is Lucas for Mo.
And our first time seeing Lucas play Lumberjack on the day, and King Tower activation will be pretty easy for Mohamed. It is one of the interesting things about the change in Lumberjack. I mean, I guess overall, but that's been when the Rage got changed and doing damage, and how that turned Lumberjack into a King Tower activator.
Yeah. And right there, a little smile coming in from Mohamed Light when he saw the healer. Not many players willing to use that card. Mohamed Light going to go with a somewhat balanced RG deck. Lucas, on the other hand, it looks like it could be Golem. It still could be E-Golem. There's a few different variations of this deck. I'm thinking it might be Golem, which would be absolutely insane.
Electro Dragon is so fun. The battle healer, obviously something we don't see very often anymore, and pumping RG at the bridge immediately.
Skeleton Dragon's only going to lock on to 2 of the Goblins, so this tower is going to be almost taken out completely. With the help of the Lumberjack, it's going to stay just alive, but tower down to 460, but that's okay if you're Lucas. You could have lost the entire tower. As long as you protect that pump, as long as you're making sure that you're going to be able to gain that elixir that you need, Lucas should be placing it down, and there we go, Golem. First Golem probably of the tournament, probably of the year.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting stuff to say the least. Evo Electro Dragon behind the Golem will clean all that up, and Mohamed gonna put a fireball on that, but now he's got a battle healer, a Golem, an Evo Lumberjack, an Evo Electro Dragon. That Monk's not going to do anything to reflect here, and the Evo does die on the Electro Dragon. Golem drops. Lumberjack trying to make more happen, and now Lucas just trying to pile on the bridge. He gives a shake of a head as that did not work out.
Yeah, I love the concept. I love the idea coming in from Lucas. One of the tiny little mistakes when he dropped the healer, it was outside of the range of the E-Drag, so the E-Drag ended up getting taken out pretty easily. And you just know that Mo is too smart. He's going to place a troop that's going to redirect how your other troops look. Lucas tried to get the NATO in with the E-Drag, get everything chaining, but Mohamed Light...
No, those are core cards, and yes, the other 4 are RG deck cards, but really it does feel like I love the gamble that Lucas took here, and I don't even think it worked out that poorly for him yet.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely have to agree. So as we head into game number 2, Mo Light going to be running the E-Wiz plus the Snowball. Lucas on the other side going to be running some variation of the Mortar. Without it being the Cannoneer, you have to kind of assume it's going to be like a Fireball version. Some of them run Skeleton King, but usually when it's Princess Tower, it's not the Skeleton King versions.
Lucas controlling the Magic Archer as it stayed alive for quite a long time. Snowball gets him clean up, but Lucas does get that initial chip on the right-hand lane. 25-66. Knight will go down first minute away. Lucas might have wanted one Knight swing there. Either way, he comes out ahead both in damage and elixir.
Mortar coming in once again from Lucas. Question is he going to try and protect it or not? And we see one more shot from the Mortar. He's not really trying to get any offensive pressure with getting it on tower, but he wanted to keep it alive so that way the E-Wiz would be taken out. I like the idea, and now you have one little Spear Goblin that does force out a Golden Knight, just one little Spear Goblin doing its job.
Little Prince setting up, so champions on both sides here. Also, another note for the deck that Lucas ran in game number 1, no champion used. So you think about all those pieces, and I'm very curious. And I love, man, this feels like a bit of a throwback here, but getting a chance to see, I think it's our first giant skeleton of the day.
Yeah, and right here, Lucas should be able to clean that up very nicely with the Knight. As good as the giant skeleton, it feels like it just doesn't get as much value as it like tells you that it's going to get. When you place it down on the map, sometimes you can get the 5 elixir worth of value, the 6 elixir worth of value, but it's so hard to get positive trades, and I feel like it's still missing something. I've actually been running a lot of giant skeleton recently, trying to make it work, and it just feels like it doesn't work very often.
Fetch just isn't going to happen, Josh. Here we go. 20 seconds left. Giant skeleton holding up at the top. This mortar going to have to get picked up by the guards from Mohamed. And Evo drill in. And starting to chip away and open up the lead is Mohamed Light. 15-56. Lucas needs to find some way to create some damage. You can get creative and try to plan for those later rounds, but the number one thing, Josh, is you have to get there.
Yeah, and right there, Lucas, I mean, just struggling to get on top of the tower. Mohamed Light hasn't shown one of his cards, probably going to be the Tornado. And, I mean, these defensive snowballs always putting in work, but this is a pretty big push. One of the goblins on top of the tower striking away and again locking on, and again another shot. Lucas finally taking the lead, and Mohamed Light searching for answers.
I think Lucas wanted to get the King Tower activation there with the placement, but I think he needed a bit more to get that Magic Archer in space. But he does have the lead now after that connection on the left-hand side. And Lucas starting to try to put a little bit more offensive pressure here. Doesn't quite get the connection on the extra splash damage. Final minute, triple elixir. And Giant Skeleton sets up to the right-hand lane for Mohamed Light. Lucas goes in on the left.
Little Prince in the middle is going to try and take out the Ewus as best it can. And another Evo Mortar. It feels like when Lucas plays Mortar, he's got a 0.5 cycle evolution. I have no idea how he's able to get so many of these Mortars up on the board.
Drill in for Mohamed Light. Bar barrel to pick up. 2 mortars on the board. NATO for Mo trying to make enough room for damage. Not quite enough to take the lead. Fireball down. Perfectly timed. Going to get a ton of skeleton damage. And Lucas ties things up in game number 2.
Beautiful offensive pressure the entire game from Lucas. Had multiple mortars up once it hit triple elixir, and Mohamed Light just so advantageous for Lucas right now. There's very few times where the series is even, whether it be 0-0, 1-1, whatever it is, and the other player looks like the favorite. Right now, Lucas is probably the favorite.
Ice Spirit for Lucas. Rage in response from Mohamed Light. So Lucas opting for some quick cycle, it seems. Mohamed going the opposite direction.
Delivery on top of everything gets a ton of value right there. And the Ghost fully taken out. Lucas taking a little bit of chip damage, but now is aware of Mohamed Light's deck. Sometimes those Mother Witches at the very beginning of the game can take 2,000 HP worth of damage because you're just not prepped for it, and now he absolutely is.
And Lucas able to very early, knowing not only no NATO, but no Fisherman. So you can really get some more creative minor placements early on in the game. And a second appearance for our newest member of the Clash Royale universe.
I have to say that was a very interesting push, and it still forced out a lot of elixir from Lucas. Going in with the Mega Knight plus the Inferno Dragon, it cost him 11 elixir. He got his Evos in cycle, and it forced out 10 elixir worth of defensive response from Lucas. So I had no idea Mega Knight Inferno Dragon at the bridge was as strong as it was in forcing out responses.
And Ram Rider sets up on the left-hand lane. Easily handled into the Tesla. And just trying to get little bits of chip here is Lucas. Maybe not quite reading the situation correctly there. And this time Spirit Empress going to set up with the miner in front.
Delivery coming in on the right side. Wasn't sure if it was going to be placed on the left or the right. And this is where Mohamed Light is finally getting his first big push. Another Spirit Empress, and that's going to stop the Ram Rider before it can even get to the tower. Ice Spirit needs to come down. No Ice Spirit.
Oh, no.
Mohamed Light just takes the tower. Lucas, no response whatsoever. Frustrated is Lucas.
Yeah, Evo Electro Dragon coming in like the oven that you left on and completely scorching that right-hand tower. And I was looking at that going, man, he's really needs to figure out something here in the middle, and didn't. That's in game number 2. So Mo has kind of maybe evened up the card count, if you will, into the meta, into what's actually meta.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lucas, when you're using all those cards, I feel like that shouldn't be the way you go. I like using the log, the delivery, the Teslas with Hawk. I think that's by far the strongest one that utilizes those cards. This Miner Rocket deck, it is popular for a reason. It is relatively strong, but there are so many times you just auto-lose because of one tiny mistake, which we definitely saw in that last game, and I don't like using that in best of fives. I think you need stronger and just easier decks in your repertoire.
RG with a Monk Reflection, and let's see if it can get past the DPS with the Rage. Doesn't do it. Lucas maybe overspending here, as he'll have to use these archers to try to clean up. Miner goes to the back, Berserker goes to the left, and there are problems all over the board for Lucas.
Yeah, and right there, I think Lucas is trying to activate the King, but I'm pretty sure that interaction, you need to put the... I was taught when I was trying to learn that interaction that you put the Fisherman on the opposite side to bring it across. I don't know, just nothing going right for Lucas so far. Mohamed Light up 2-1 in the best of 5 and just dominating the game so far.
Lucas sets up Monk to the left-hand side. I don't know what the lore is behind the Berserker, but she does look like the Valkyrie's annoying younger cousin.
There it is, you found it. And right there, Mohamed Light just defending these with relative ease. The Berserker just getting the DPS in, helping the Ice Wizard out with its slow. And Lucas, when I look at the matchup and I'm trying to figure out what he needs to accomplish, what he needs to do, I don't know what I see. Mohamed Light's just so talented, and this is such a bad matchup. The Valk, Evo, Ice Spirit, Berserker, and Minor Poison, this is not what Lucas was looking forward to.
And you saw a big shake of the head from Lucas there a minute ago, as he was kind of just feeling the pressure of how it's all starting to shake out right now. Going to play the Fisherman high to pull, but that's just poison value. I think that's one of the other big problems here for Lucas that we're seeing, Josh, is now he's at a stage where he has to defend those miners. He has to give poison value consistently.
Yeah, right here, Lucas doing what he can. Going to go in with the RG on the right side, but the problem is the Evo Ice Spirit, when that is in cycle, your push is gone. It doesn't matter what you have crossing the bridge. There's just no way it's going to be able to make it through. This just feels like defeat. I don't see what Lucas can even possibly do.
And just chipping away, and you talk about some of the traits that make Mohamed Light the greatest to ever do it. Patience is certainly one of them, right? You see he knows he has plenty of room, can give up a couple of shots, doesn't need to either super defend, over defend any of these pushes, and doesn't need to put the pressure on offensively heavily either, right? He's not trying to go in really heavy just happy to take the damage where he can, get a little bit of poison value, get a little bit of minor chip value, and here he gets a whole lot of extra out of that Ice Whiz plus the poison on the mark.
Yeah, and right here going in with the log as well. Fisherman not able to yank. That's going to be another poison down on top of the tower. Probably doesn't even need the log. Probably going to get the log in time. And there we go. Light taking game number 4, 3-1 overall, and having some fun right now. I guess I'd be laughing and smiling too if I'm in Mo's shoes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in Mo's position, you're feeling pretty good. You now took yourself one step closer to, of course, that all-important golden ticket to World Finals. Punching it early, getting it out of the way, not as early as we're used to with Mohamed Light. Usually he's the first one in, but getting it done in month number 2. And then, of course, if he does end up winning this championship, that $15,000 will take him up to $996,000 officially, according to Wikipedia,